wanted to begin by asking, and with all due respect, in hindsight, now that the Jonah Hex film has come out, do you feel like it was a blessing to sort of dodge a bullet in a way that it didn't work out? Because you certainly wouldn't have been able to do Hung and work with Alexander Payne and have all the success you're having right now had that gone.
That's not true. I would have still been able to do Hung. We didn't have the same shooting schedule, so I would have been able to make the schedule work. Alexander would have pushed a little bit. We try to make it work in Hollywood if it's at all possible. If you have another job, unless it's just a direct conflict and there's no way out and you have to choose, it's either A or B, which happens. But most of the time, the producers and the studio will try to make it work because they want your actor to be successful. You want him to be well known, and it only helps your movie, right? So I have guys, agents, studio execs, wheeling their schedule around to fit me in. So I think that I was very passionate about Jonah Hex and the film and the idea of the movie. It changed into another thing once the casting process was done and Josh Brolin got the part and I didn't. I was really disappointed because I love that character. I saw the franchise. I saw the passion that the character embodies, and he represents to me a lot of what I see in humanity. And I had a lot to say with the character of Jonah. So I put on my own makeup. I had a guy come over and make me my own makeup, and I took photos. And I sent them to the studio execs. One of them was a friend of mine. And of course, once you send something out over the air, it tends to get around in ways that I kind of foresaw, but I didn't really expect it to become front page news on some of the comic websites. But my photos, which they weren't meant for public consumption. But there they were, and that was embarrassing. However, I stood by my guns, and I said, this is it. This is me. This is what I want. I want to do this part.
You think the film would have been a lot different?
God stepped in, and He removed me from the process, which I was disappointed in at first, and then later on, I was incredibly thankful, and God knows best, and that thing that is God saved my ass, and now I'm grateful that I got to do the animated show, this little short.
Well, tell me about doing this, about actually getting to play the character and fulfill that sort of dream in this animated film.
Another thing is that the positive thing about the internet is that word got out, that I wanted to do the Jonah Hex, and of course you take the pot shots of people saying, their wonderfully negative comments about how they saw me as an actor in the part, and then also wonderfully positive comments about fans who saw me in the role, So you get a little healthy dose of the universal unconscious mind telling me that it was a galvanizing idea. People had a reaction to it. They didn't ignore it. They had a visceral reaction to me playing Jonah Hex. So, because the photos leaked out online, everyone knew that I wanted to do the job. So when this came along, they went to me first. They said, "Well, hell, Thomas wants to play this part. We should get him." So that's the positive thing. Had I not done the makeup and had the pictures not leaked out online, they would have probably not thought of me for the role. So when they did, I read the script, and I saw that it was based on some of the comics, and which I love, and I was in, right away. I don't think I had to think about it. I read the script and I said, I can do something with this. There's some and it's a short. It's there's not a lot of time. It's condensed. You want to get your character in there strong and hard and fast. There's no time to kind of let it build like you would in a film. In a short film, it's just like, bam, you know, go, bam, there he is. So it's the character's a little bit different, or the way I express the character is a little bit different because we're dealing with a short. But I'm proud of it. You know, I like the process, and I'm happy that I got to give a little taste of what Jonah Hex means to me and what the character would have been had we done it in real life.
What was it like working with Bruce and all the team over at DC, the animated people? I mean, they make quality, amazing films. What was it like working with them on this?
Quality is the key, you know, and that's the other reason why I said yes to the role, is because I knew that it was going to be done with passion and quality, and that those things were going to come first. You know, it was going to be a first-rate piece of work. So, what's neat about doing animated stuff, you get to meet the animators and understand where they're coming from, and you know, most of these guys are fans and they love what the character is and what they're doing, and they love the fact that they get to contribute to the character just like me. So everybody's in there on the same page saying, how do we make this Jonah Hex the best Jonah Hex that people have seen or heard so thus far, you know, in motion. And whether it's live action or it's animated, you know, it's in motion. We get to see Jonah walk and talk and breathe, and that's very cool. I got to create the character and use my own rhythms and my own pacing, and then the animators took that and they animated to my voice. So they are listening to my vocal performance and creating the animated reality around these human voices, you know, me and the rest of the cast, which is exciting because you're kind of driving the ship in that way for that period of time. Then they ask you to come back, and once they have it all locked in, they ask me to change a few lines. They've asked me to change performance here and there in a little bit, and then it's still a creative process, but I'm now following the bouncing ball, and the rhythm has been established. It's been set. It's been set by me a long time ago, but really the animators have taken it over. They've sped it up in places. They've slowed it down in other places. They're creating now the rhythm and the mood and the pace of the show. And my job is then to match that, you know. And I still get to tweak my performance a little bit. Say, you know what? A little tinge of fear in this scene wouldn't be a bad thing. I can add that element in. And collaboratively, me and the animators come up with another way of telling our story. So it's exciting. I think it's the first animated thing I've done. I did a couple of video games before that, but this is the first time I've actually seen our guy and moving in an animated way. I'd like to do it again.